All right. So one of you asked me to make a video about my updated feelings about this horn, the John Ledbetter New York Signature Artist Edition. I have the unlacquered version, no hi-hat sharp. Okay. So I didn't want to make, and I'm not trying to throw shade on people here, but I really didn't want to make that video where like I'm playing the horn and I'm being like playing this horn, then I'm playing another horn. I'm like, can you tell the difference? Because I feel like me personally, when I'm like scouring the internet trying to look for information about a horn, I really want to collect opinions. So if it's just a bunch of people playing, I don't really get anything because I feel like the whole model of how we're just kind of designed to set up and listen to sound like through our phones and maybe through like maybe some nice desktop speakers, we're really not going to catch any of the nuance of me playing two different horns. I'm going to be like horn A and horn B. I'm really sorry. I feel like I'm like talking ill of people. Anyways, people can do what they want. If other people want to do that, that's fine. It just doesn't really work for me. So you want my opinion on this horn. So I'll tell you a little bit about how I came to buy this horn. So I was in New York with my girlfriend, and we were spending the weekend. We were seeing a lot of jazz and seeing shows and blah, blah, blah. And I knew I wanted to drop by John's shop. So I dropped by John's shop. It's really cool. They're really nice and friendly there. Really, really busy, of course. And what John did is, he lined up, a buffet of, let's say, about 6 horns for me. And he probably does that for other people. Lined up a buffet of 6 horns. In there was probably an SBA, a 6, maybe a Yanagisawa, a couple of nice horns. And then at the very end was John's horn. So my experience was, I've played vintage horns before, so I kind of know the deal, knew what to expect. I think the 6 was a horn that kind of grabbed me a little bit, and I was like, that's a thing. Very interesting, of course. It's a 6. Comes with a price tag. When I got to John's horn, a couple really interesting things happened. I was on a bit of an old reed, and I didn't really expect much of it, but the way the Altissimo was slotting was the first thing that was like very alarming to me, how easy it was to play in the Altissimo register. And I generally, I'm not like a stratosphere type of Altissimo player, but I can get up to the high F. But I got up to the G, like easily on that horn. I was just like, whoa, super taken aback. That was thing one. Yeah, and just the ease with which all the notes kind of slotted in, I guess, as someone has said. I think it might have been Sam Dillon that said that. But really, it was how I felt. I just really was having fun, and I didn't want to put the thing down. That was the most, I think, stark or alarming thing about playing that horn. And then I felt like with the ergonomics, I felt like it was going to teach me things. It's kind of esoteric to say, but I felt like I was the limiting factor in that between me and the horn. I needed to improve my technique because the horn could take me places if I worked on it. I'm not sure if that makes sense. It was really the way the thing was moving. I was like, wow, I need to clean up my technique and I'm going to be able to play a lot faster. That's the kind of the feedback loop that happened while I was playing the horn. Obviously, it was a big improvement. The ergonomic improvements are really alarming and stark. In the palms and the left hand, it was just real pleasure. The quality, the way it's sealed, I feel like I'm now on a softer setup because of how well this horn seals. Kind of weird to say, but I feel like I got away with a softer setup on it. And it's just so fun. It hasn't really gone away. It's 18 months later, and I still am absolutely obsessed with playing it. I haven't played anything else in that time. I sold my previous horn within a very short time. I thought I was going to keep a backup horn for a little while, but then I was like, why? It's just going to be such a sad experience to play in comparison to this. Okay, so now that's what this horn is, and I told myself I was going to try and talk about what it isn't in the right way. Because I feel like that's important, because a lot of the guys that are what to me what's become difficult about buying quality gear nowadays is that all the quality gear is given to sponsors or sponsored artists. So you're getting kind of that type of opinion. Like if you give me, like I paid 6,200 at the time, 6,200 Canadian dollars for this horn. I paid full price for this horn. So you're getting like, I wasn't given this horn, so you can kind of take my opinions for what they are. What else was I going to say? Right, what isn't it? So I took my horn into Twigs in Montreal, this horn, to get it repaired. And when I picked it up, they had a 6 there as well. So I took my horn that was perfectly tuned and freshly worked on into the practice room, along with the 6 that all I knew, it was a $15,000 6, so that's Canadian. So I know that's in the higher end. I don't always, like, price tag doesn't always equal anything, but anyways, I took it into the practice room. I had my mouthpiece the way it was with the reed on. I think it was a brand new reed. So immediately played my horn, took the mouthpiece off, played that 6, and there were some differences. Now, when I bought this horn, I was looking for different things. I don't think I was as conscious of like tone and spread and projection as I am now. When I played that horn, the difference in the tone and projection was just like, it was kind of alarming to me how much like there was like a tone quality difference and just like a projection difference. And again, my horn was just finely tuned. So that's what that is. So it turned out afterwards, I didn't really know at the time, but it was a Brecker serial number 6. So I believe those are like in the 80,000 range or 90,000. I think it was like an 87 or 88, something like that. I can't remember. Don't quote me on that. Because I was quite blown away. Now, we get into like some questions now. So is that horn worth $15,000? Well, to me, again, I mean, we don't all have that type of money. I think I probably could have afforded it because of what it is, right? Like, it's an investment and it's probably going to hold its value, we're going to hope. But, to get a tone like that you're not going to be able to get from anything else, yes, I would say it is worth it. So getting back to this horn, and where does this sit in the landscape? This is a really good horn. That much I do know. And I do think like is it going to stack up against like a King Super 20 or some SBAs or some Mark 6s in terms of tone? I don't entirely know. I don't think so. But again, $6,000 to $15,000. Like, what is that? Is that $9,000? Is that horn $9,000 better than this one? I don't think so. I think though, like if you're really, it depends. Like again, it depends what type of player you are. If you've got like, a crazy mouthpiece on your sax and you're more focused on squealing altissimo and not as concerned about tone, then maybe you don't really care about that. Like, this thing has insane ergonomics. It plays really well. All the notes, slot really well in tune. And it is an absolute pleasure to play. There's no question. So I just wanted to add that blip in about what it isn't, because I kind of like waffled about whether I should get a proper vintage horn or get this horn. And there were a lot of people really advocating for how good it was. Some of that might be price related. I'm not too sure. Like, given the opportunity, would I buy, one of the best 6s? I don't know. Would I spend $25,000 on a horn instead of this one? Is it worth the difference? Or and can I make up the difference by just getting better at the horn? Is like another thing I've struggled with. So I'm not sure if that answers any questions. Like I said, 18 months in, I'm still playing this horn. It's the best horn I've personally ever played. It's taken me a little bit to kind of figure it out, like in terms of like really getting comfortable on it. I feel like I've gotten a lot better in the last 18 months. Still an absolute pleasure. I can't put it down. I want to play it all the time. Lots of compliments on my playing and things like that, and sound and tone and the whole nine. So hopefully that's helpful. If you guys are feel like this video is missing anything, feel free to let me know. Okay, so I had a P. Moriat 66R before this. It was an older P. Moriat 66R. Like, I want to say it was 10-ish years old. This blows that out of the water. Like, actually blows it out of the water. Anyways, I've been kind of like unsure how to make this video for a while, because again, I wanted to be honest with you guys and and not just like fangirl and be like, oh, this is the best horn I've ever played, hands down. There are zero deficiencies, because I feel like that wouldn't be really fair to say, but definitely I could say there's some tonal things, there's some overtones that are not present on this horn that are definitely present on some of the vintage SBAs and 6s that I've played. That's my personal experience. I think John and his team are doing great work, and they're doing amazing stuff, and I'm super glad that I bought this horn. And if you have any other questions,